What is going on, dudes? How you guys doing? I am TheeRealDuke, and welcome to episode 16 of my Infinite Heights Minecraft Survival Multiplayer Let's Play series. I hope you guys are doing alright. Hope you guys are psyched from a great weekend, ready to have an awesome week. We are, well, you can see where we are. We are here. We've been working on this. We're here, I don't know what to call this area yet. We're at Monastery number 1, let's call it. You see some rings there. I started some work on that, which is what we worked on last episode. I want to finish that up today, and I want to get on this massive tree, which I see spiraling to the sky in magnificent splendor. Trex Tex, between last episode and this, built this awesome bridge. It's awesome, awesome sauce, and this chicken is just dropping eggs like crazy. Anyway, he prettied up this area working on the landscape, which I love. Hopefully there'll be some statue here somehow, either here, maybe a bank of them on the side. He said he would make it out of solid gold, which he would also provide the gold. That's what he said. Anyway, so that's coming along. This approach is starting to look really sweet. I want to cover this with grass, though, so that's going to take a lot of dirt. And some time, and also the rest of this mountain. Not all of it, but more. A little bit more. I do want to see... I mean, the place is called Ishiyama, which translates to Stone Mountain, so it should be stone, but we can see a lot of the stone side. Anyway, so what I want to do for this, where I'm pulling pieces, so this is not orthodox and as traditionally Asian as we would like. It has a lot of the elements. As I keep looking at it from a bunch of different angles, it's starting to not really fit for me, so I think we're gonna have to tear this down, unless everybody says no, it's awesome, keep it. I think we need to tear it down though and rethink it, and I think what I have planned for this should be the inspiration for it. I think it's gonna be pretty sweet. We may not be able to keep this open air kind of thing here, but that's okay. So this is gonna be cool. I'll show you guys what I have for this. Let's see, we also I actually, before I put these up and before I put the windows in, I actually slid it back another block, just to make sure that we had enough room for everything, because when I initially moved it, I didn't account for these, the overhangs here, which aren't supposed to be like that. I put them in made out of spruce at first, and they did not work. I thought this would be better. So I'm going to show you some colors that we're going to use. I also took off the top 2 floors, and we're going to go ahead and rebuild those, and I want to show you guys what I'm thinking for that today. It's gonna be busy. I hope we get it all in. We're gonna get it all in. I just hope I don't have to cut too much of it. So so basically right along what I'd like to do is right along where the quartz is, I'm gonna have this dark oak, and that's really gonna make the quartz, relatively speaking, pop even more and look even brighter. Overall, the main bulk of the Tibetan monasteries that I've been looking at, the outer layer is not the outer, well, obviously the outer layer, I'm looking at the outside. The bulk of the visible structure of it is white. And so we're going to keep those. Obviously, I could have made the whole thing out of quartz. I think that would have looked a little bland. So I mixed it up with a couple different blocks. But what we're going to do is, they usually have this kind of, it's like a layer, like a level. The top floor, second floor from the top is like a dark brick red maroon kind of thing. Not quite as dark as nether brick, but a little bit darker than like red stained clay, but not as vibrant. It's a little bit darker. Yeah, it is a little bit darker than red stained clay. I'm just glancing at my reference material here. It's a little bit darker, but it's actually not as dark as like nether brick. So I think the closest thing we have to it is red stained clay, and I just put these on the wrong level here, so I'm just going to do this again. I also want to mix in some brick with it, because the brick will get us, will allow us to use steps and half slabs, which might come in handy. It may not work at all, and we might not be able to use it, but I want to try. I think they don't look too bad next to each other. We would obviously use the brick sparingly, but you know, I just want to see what it is. And then the top layer, the roof, is this dark color, if not gold. And so I can't really, I don't know if I can afford to make the whole thing gold at the moment, because I don't think there's enough gold around. We blew a lot of gold on the statues for the long temple that we built, for all that armor. So the top floor will actually be gold. The roof, we're going to keep this dark color, and I think all these colors next to each other are going to look good. We're going to bump in one for each level as we go up in all dimensions. So here we only bumped in on the front face. The back face is straight. I dug this out, by the way, which obviously you can see, but we didn't bump in from the back. We didn't bump in from the sides, just the front dimension. So we're going to actually do that for the top two floors. It'll get skinnier as it goes up. So I'm going to finish off these here. I'm looking at dark oak fences to put in there, so I'm going to put those together and see if it looks detailed enough, and then I'll bring you guys back in, and we'll get started on the top two floors. Finish this up. All right, what do we think, huh? So a couple things. I added this row right here, this column, so I'd have a spot to put that. I added those on top in every corner, on the interior where there was white quartz exposed. And then I added the window fence things in, and then I added buttons because there was just not enough zazz. I tried stone buttons, and it just ended up wasting a lot of stone. So I put the wood ones in. They had just the right amount of detail, I think. This little bit here looks plain, but this is going to be a viewing platform that's going to extend out here. So we'll put like some kind of something over that. I'm not sure what that's going to look like yet. I think it's going to reference the design that we're going to be working on now with whatever we coordinate between this and the top of this, but I don't know. Anyway, let's see what we can screw around with here. So I got some yellow stained clay. I think it looks good next to the block of gold. I got a stack of those. I got my red stained clay. I got my bricks. I'm just going to go ahead and do this all in red stained clay for right now. So we're going to bump in one. And then let's see what this looks like here. I'm actually just going to do, should be 4 blocks tall, right? I'm just going to bring it to like there. Just so we can kind of like go down there real quick and see if we're on the right track or if we've made a horrible mistake and this looks ridiculous. So there's 3. And then actually, wow, what is with the block? I need a new mouse. This mouse is not listening to me. Mouse for sale, Razer Naga. It is yours for the price of, I don't know. You can have that and my keyboard. It's also a Razer for $100. Huh? You want it? Send me a message and a pile of money. Okay. So that's 3. And then the 4th level is the level that would normally be this quartz here. So that's going to have stuff coming from it. What I would actually like to do is probably not have it in stained clay, but let's just kind of come down here and see what we're working with. Okay, so it's not as pronounced because it's not really as much as I'm thinking it's gonna be. Okay, it's gonna look a little bit lighthouse-ish, isn't it? Or like a giant lipstick. Gross. Anyway, I mean lipstick on girls is. You know what? I'm just gonna not even. I'm gonna not even. Wow, block placement rolls. Anyway, all right. So I'm gonna finish this pass, finish this row here. I'm gonna punch some holes for windows in the same pattern we've had before. I'm gonna try something about a roof, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Cool. I'm thinking that looks pretty sweet as the sun rises to a misty morning. I think that looks pretty sweet. What I'm gonna do is, so there should be some type of delineation between this and the floor that's yet to be built above it, the gold floor. And the thing is, it's supposed to stick out like this, but I can't have it stick out like this because that's actually too far. But because the top row is actually gonna come in one, and be here, I can actually set the first roof tile on top of this directly, and then just have a regular stone slab next to it, and that should approximate the look. I have so much crap in my inventory. Like that with the full blocks instead of... Normally I would probably use slabs just to conserve materials, because obviously these are all huge projects here. So like that. Eh? See what I'm talking about there? See what I'm saying? Because then when we go above, we're actually going to bump in one level, which is good because that's also going to use less blocks on that floor, so we have to worry less about gold. You can see just, you know, that hint of brick right there. I think the colors go okay together with the windows in. It just, you can't really see buttons. There's no spot for me to add them there. I think it adds just a little bit of extra little detail to make it look cool, so I'm digging that. So then, yeah, right here, I'm just gonna bring this in a little bit, and I'm just gonna throw these down so that I have something to build on here. So typically, from what I've seen, and I don't know, this is just maybe my sampling of them is skewed of Tibetan temples, but from what I've seen, Tibetan monasteries rather, there's very few windows in the top part, just one centrally located on each side. So I'm actually not gonna do, I mean, it's an odd number, so I can't do like a 2 wide one, so I'm just gonna do one, and then we'll see what that looks like. And I'm gonna clang solid gold, and I totally filled that side in. Okay, right. So this is a thing that I discovered when doing this floor. It's an even number of blocks wide, which I'd like to maybe bring this in one more on this side and square it up. But let's just do this first and see how this looks. Pretty sure this looks ridiculous because, again, solid gold. Oh, man. This is money down the tubes. It's not. I'm going to mix in some clay, too, so we'll get a couple of these back. Wow. How good am I at placing blocks today? It's like crazy genius. So from here, not so much. What's a good vantage point? So from here, we should see it just peeking through. Yep. From here... Yep. See, I think that's right on. I'm gonna fill it in. You know what? I'm gonna take a minute here. I'm gonna dismantle this. I'm gonna slide it all one block in that direction, so that it's square all around. Because there's no reason it shouldn't be. So that'll even that'll even up some stuff up. That'll even up some stuff up, and then. I'll see if I can mix in a little bit of the yellow stained clay, because this is definitely just kind of boring. Even though it's kind of like, wow, look at all that gold, it's still a little boring. So I'm going to take care of that, and then I will bring you guys back in when I got something to show for it. Be right back. And in the darkness of the night sky, the lone glowing golden beacon, this crazy monastery structure that we're kind of digging into the side of this building here. I think it looks awesome. We'll go up and take a closer look. I squared it up. I squared up the top 2 floors here, so man, I'm just blanking on spacing today. Anyway, so I gotta fix this. I gotta fix those. I did it. Whatever. Anyway, so I tried to mix in a little bit of the kind of gold or the yellow stained clay. Too much of it makes it look brown. A little bit adds detail. That was the most I could put into it to get it to work. Actually, I'm gonna need probably some more slabs here, but I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with this. So to add a little bit of kind of emphasis to the top, and this being the top, I'm actually going to bring this level out one farther, this roof level out one farther than this one, so it'll fall on this, and I think that's gonna look good. So let's just kind of bang that out. I'm just gonna bang it out into one corner here, and then we'll see how that looks. So just like that, and then so now that's even with the one below. We're just gonna bring out just one more. Man, oh man. No, I was right. Yeah, come on, come on, come on. There we go. Okay, so boom. I think this is gonna look sweet. And then we're gonna bring it up into a gentle peak, similar to how we did that. Oh, I forgot to do the stone up there. Anyway, so let's see. We don't have in this style. We don't have the upturn. We don't have the upturn on the corners of the roofs like we do in the Japanese style, which is, I'm sure, at least in some way borrowed from the Chinese style. Yeah, I'm liking that a lot. It's a little tough to see on Moody. I'll brighten it up for a second here. Still tough to see, but I think that's gonna look good. It doesn't look like it's coming down too low. I'm still worried that the gold level looks a little too plain. I might come back and do something with that, but I'm gonna finish up the roof here, and the inside still needs a lot of work. I still gotta put floors in, but I think we'll be able to call the outside of it done at any rate. And we'll get to work on that tree. Let's see what we can do here. You just see it peeking through. Added some stone buttons for a little zazz. A little bit, you know, I like adding buttons around. I think they're fun. I wish they came in more colors. I think this is the best vantage point just from the stairs of this gazebo here. I mean, so far from down here. There's probably awesome views from up there, but let's go ahead up here and take a closer look. Yeah, like from right here. Yeah, awesome. So there should be a window here. Wonder why I didn't put one. Oh, I probably dug away. Yeah, I dug away some dirt there to provide clearance for the roofs because they were just kind of like stuck on the side of the dirt like that. I think that looks weird like that. Anyway, so let's check this out. Here's how I finished it. And then there's this filigree jazz up at the top. I threw some buttons on there, excuse me. Threw some buttons on there too. I think that looks kind of neat. Let's see, what's this gonna... Ooh, we can kind of just see it from there. What about from this bridge? Yeah. Yeah, that looks cool. And again, this is less accurate than those are, but this still is pretty close. Pretty close. Very nice. All right, I'm gonna go grab some dark oak and we can get on this tree. Let me know what you guys think of this. The gold is kind of crazy looking, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, dark oak tree coming up. I mean, you know, this is a pretty sweet view, isn't it? I think so. The way they're kind of just like in the mist there, I think that's cool. All right, so here's how we're going to design this tree. I'm going to use traditional, informal, upright, basic structure for a bonsai tree, which I'll explain. And then we're going to take it from there and just let it go where it goes, because I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to think about planning it too hard, but basically every direction you look at it from, it is supposed to be a scalene triangle. So that's why, just a triangle where all the sides are different lengths. So if we look at it from above, the general outline should be a scalene triangle. If you look at it from any side looking at it, it should be a scalene triangle, both in the canopy and in the root structure. The root structure around the bark is called an ebari if you're talking about bonsai. So like that kind of thing is what we're going to be paying attention to. And then we're going to be able to make a tree. I'm going to build a bunch of blocks here to get a decent size height. And then that's pretty much how we're going to make this tree look epic without... I mean, that's what bonsai is. It's making these tiny trees actually look epic. So that's why I'm using that idea. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if we can just work out a height here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now I said maybe 50 or 60 tall. That's 30 blocks tall. Let's just take a look from the bridge. That's 30 blocks tall. I think. I mean, remember, we're working hard to work with the landscape here, so I don't want to get like deep into this tree and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this tree's kind of stupid looking and it kind of blocks the whole thing. So let's just kind of check out what that scale is going to look like, and it's going to come out like that kind of shape, right? And then we're going to have about another maybe 4 or 5 blocks above that for foliage for the peak of the tree. I think that's good. I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and chop. I'm just going to leave that one floating there just so we have an idea. The curvature of the trunk is critical to creating the outline of movement in the tree, and a giant tree needs to kind of have that movement so it looks like it's lived a while. So these all have a little bit of gentle movement in them. This one is a cascade style, so it has a little bit more, as does this one. But I mean, to make this really kind of crazy, we gotta probably start with, there's a, generally speaking, an S shape to the trunk in this style. So let's start with the trunk. Start with the trunk forward and up. So I'm gonna make the trunk at the base kind of thick, and then we're gonna snake in this direction. So most of the curvature happens towards the bottom, and then it kind of smooths out as it goes up. This isn't over enough. Okay, alright, so we have this kind of S shape here, right? So another thing that happens is the trunk gets thinner as it goes to the top. So I started making the bottom thick, thickly. I started making it thickly. I started making it thick at the bottom. We gotta flesh it out because I mean the trunk should be roundish. But this is the general shape of what I'm talking about. So it's that S shape. That is the block we started the tree at when I went to measure, and if you follow it all the way up, it ends there too. So bottom to top, the top doesn't land directly over the main root part, and that's part of the informal upright styles kind of designation as well. So we're on point there. It moves in all directions, no matter which way you look at it from. This still doesn't end up over the center of that, so that's part of it. So that fits. We got that nice general shape. I'm actually going to create more of a slope here and round this off a little bit, and then carry this thickness up a little bit more to about here, and then the top should thin out. This is actually a little thick right here. That's actually going to take this one. One more. Actually, from here. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and round out the trunk, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Okay, so we have the root base, the base of the trunk here with the roots, where the roots start. We have that fleshed out. It is a nice smooth transition. I'm going to bring this one up, just a couple of log blocks there. It's a nice smooth transition, thicker at the bottom, thinner towards the top. Good. One of the other rules that we're working with here is that if we look at the trunk, okay, as we look at the shape of the trunk, main branches only come on the outside of curves. So the first curve is right here, so we can have a massive main branch here, another massive main branch here, another massive main branch here, another massive main branch here. Now there can be other branches. Those just have to be the dominant branches that define the overall shape of the tree. So if we're going to make a triangle here, from here out, right? So this bottom main branch is going to have to come to the tip of this branch somewhere over here, which is massive and awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of rough in and put a couple curves into it, change levels a little bit. There we go, to about there. Okay, maybe a little too long, maybe a little too long. So that's kind of how we're figuring out where to start, because you're like, okay, great, now I got a trunk, how do I put branches on? Well, that's kind of a good guide for you to get started with that. And again, we're trying to adhere, we're just using these rules as a guide. You don't need to know how to make bonsai to make an epic tree, but how to make bonsai, but you know, it's coming in handy for us right now. So I'm just gonna thicken up the base a little bit here also. There we go. And that one. Okay, so that looks like a gnarly awesome branch from there to there. It doesn't have to be an exact triangle. We don't want it to look fake, because trees don't actually exist like that unless you're talking about like weirdly pruned Christmas trees. So I'm going to plug a branch there, and another little branchlet up there, and then I'll bring you guys back in. Alright, what do you think? So, we just go back over and check our principles here. The trunk of the tree goes from thickest at the bottom to narrowest at the top. Check. There's a gentle curving S shape to it. Check. Branches that come from it are also thickest where they connect and thinnest at the ends. Check. Branches only occur on the outside of curves. Check. There are no what are called eye pokers, which are branches that stick directly out towards you. These are all swept to the side. Bonsai trees do have a front and a back. There is one vantage point that they are supposed to be primarily viewed from. That's not going to work for us here in terms of the overall appearance, but we're going to be able to do a lot of work when the foliage goes on. If we have a strange or oddly proportioned shape to our trunk, which are the bones, to the skeleton, then the finished product is going to look weird. We can't hide that. So we just want to nail this down. So check the scalene triangle shape for the informal upright design, and that is intact. We fly above it to see if it is, and we have this branch, these two branches going in the same direction, that one going back, this one coming slightly forward. This one started out going back, and I just actually built side by side the mirror image of it to bring it, to sweep it forward so that we would get that to happen. It looks like from here that this area back here is pretty bare. From this point of view, though, you will notice that it all still holds up, and that's important. So we're going to be able to add in foliage, which will also occur in a triangular shape on each of the branches, to do a lot of work for fleshing this out. But that is it for this episode. Next episode, we're going to complete this epic tree. It's going to look sweet. It's going to look totally awesome. And then we are going to take what we learned from here. Hopefully I'll have applied it to this by then, because this is not, the more I look at this and how awesome this is, the less I'm digging this. We're going to continue the trail, and hopefully we'll get closer to the floating islands. I really would love to sink my teeth into those. We got to get this here, maybe a bridge design, rope bridge design of some kind. I don't know, you got an idea for the rope bridge design? If you do, please let me know. I would love to hear and see examples of satisfactory rope bridges rendered in Minecraft, because I haven't really been totally head over heels in love with some of the stuff I've seen. Anyway, that is it for this episode. Thank you dudes so much for watching. I do genuinely appreciate you taking a second to check out my stuff. It means a lot to me, so thank you. I hope you found it entertaining and or useful. I will catch you guys next time. Thanks again. I'm TheeRealDuke, and I'm out.